Hello dear students, today we are going to start first part of the 15th chapter, that is some natural phenomena. So let us start the chapter. Let us start the detailed discussion of the chapter. Dear students, you must have heard about thunder, lightning, earthquake. These are the natural phenomena. Have you ever wondered what these are and how they are caused? These are some natural phenomena that occur in nature. Some other natural phenomena are earthquake, tsunami, and you have already learned about some of these in your previous class. So let us read on to learn more about lightning and earthquake in detail. Dear students, when we talk about natural phenomena, what is natural phenomena? A natural phenomena is anything that occur on its own in nature without any kind of human interference. For example, the weather of a place, fog, storm, wind, tide, volcanic eruption, and cyclone all can be categorized as natural phenomena. Some natural phenomena can be destructive like thunderstorm, lightning, earthquake, cyclone. Before discussing each natural phenomena in detail, let us know what are electric charges. We know that every atom comprises of subatomic particles that are electron, proton and neutron, as you can see in the picture. All these particles share a common property that they carry electric charges. Electrons have negative charge whereas protons have positive charge. We know that atom carries balanced charges, means equal number of proton and electron. If any atom has 11 electron, definitely it will have 11 proton. An object will be called electrically neutral because it has positive and negative charges in equal amount. But when an object is called charged object, it means its electron and proton are imbalanced, or we can say their number is not equal. So how the object get charged, how this electron got imbalanced, let us see in detail. How the object get charged, what are the reasons, what are the ways for charging an object. So let us see the different method for charging of object. First, charging by rubbing. When we rub two objects with each other, they get charged due to the transfer of electron between them. As you can see in the picture, glass rod is getting charged with silk cloth. Silk acquire negative charge and the glass rod becomes positively charged. For example, when we rub a rubber balloon with animal fur, the balloon is made up of rubber, attracts the electron from the fur. This results in the rubber having an excess of electron while fur having a shortage of electron. In this way, how we can decide that whether a body is positively charged or negatively charged? The object having excessive of electron are called negatively charged, whereas the object having short of electron are positively charged. These charged objects are now capable of attracting other charged and uncharged object. Object having same kind of charges repel each other, and the object having different kind of charges attract each other. As you can see in the picture, like charges are repelling each other and the unlike charges are attracting towards each other. Dear students, I am sure you remembered we discussed about the electrostatic force, the force of attraction or repulsion experienced by charged objects is called electrostatic force. And again, one more term which we discussed, static electricity, is electric charges which does not move. Another concept is transfer of charges. Charges are transferred from one object to another with the help of conduction and induction. Conduction: when a charged object comes in contact with conductor, it results in the transfer of charges through the conductor. Transfer of charges through induction: when a charged object brought near a neutral object, it results in shifting the position of an electron in other object. As you can see in the picture, how the charged object is influencing the uncharged object and the uncharged object also getting charged. The process of induction does not involve any physical contact between the charged and uncharged, while the process of conduction requires a physical contact between them. Here is another concept. What is an electroscope? It is a device to test or to measure the charge on the object. Abraham Binet developed a gold leaf electroscope in 1787. Let us discuss the detailed structure of electroscope. Generally, gold and silver are used to construct an electroscope because they are good conductor of electricity. Copper and aluminum can also be used. It consists of glass jar having a vertical brass rod. As you can see in the picture, the rod is inserted into the jar through the cork. Let us see the working of electroscope. When a charged object touches the brass disc, you see one charged object is touching to the disc. Electric charges get transferred from brass rod to the gold leaf. As a result, the gold leaf move away from each other, depicting that the presence of charge. When the leaf shows the movement, it shows that the body is charged. With this, we have completed today's session. In our next session, we will discuss few more topics of the chapter. Till then, take care. Have a nice day ahead.